Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to our new campaign. I'm Simon at Wandering DM. You see him pronounce. I'll be the GM. I guess that's the word for it. I know they refer to someone as a handler, but I don't know if I am a handler in this game or just a GM. But yes, we're playing a new game starting tonight. Well, technically tonight is character creation. We're going to talk about the world and our characters and sort of what's going to happen in the next 2 months of games that we'll play. Before we begin, I'll just let the players introduce themselves, tell us who you are, and well, nothing else because characters aren't made yet. So just tell us who you are. I'll throw the mic your way.
I don't know which direction you're going, so I'm just going to start talking. Hi, I'm Yutsai. And that's it.
Yeah, that's all you get.
That's all you. Hey everyone, I'm Lynn, she, they. Just playing a bunch of games here and illustrator. So hi, hello.
And I guess that leaves me last. Just Justin. So far.
That must have been the quickest intros we've had on the channel. Players you should have in the Discord, I linked you the form fillable character sheets and the character creation stuff. Before we dive into like talking about who the characters are and everything, and I'll also sort of guide everyone along the way, so even people watching at home, if you're curious about what character creation is like in Shadowscar, you'll be able to use this video, which we'll have up on our YouTube starting, well, I don't know, tomorrow maybe? Thursday if I forget. On how characters are made in this game. So basically, the history or the lore behind Shadowscar is a long time ago. So the wow, I was gonna say yokai. The well, kind of the spirits of the basically Japanese pantheon. If you've followed our Scion game, you've heard of them, you've seen some. Lynn plays the Scion of the daughter of Inari. But in this case, the one that we're looking for is Izanagi. Izanagi in the mythology, goddess of the moon, dies, rebirth, blah, blah, blah. In this case, after dying, she basically came back, but she was being controlled, like without spoiling too much, being controlled by Yomi, the ruler of the dead, who sought to basically use her, like corrupted her, and used her as like the spearhead of an army of Oni, of yokai, that would basically take over all of the worlds in creation. And that's where the Shadowscar, nowadays called Agency, but it used to be called something else before. But essentially, these are an amalgam of clans, 6 clans right now. There are other big players in there that aren't part of the Agency anymore, which we might encounter over the course of our adventure, but I will keep them secret for now. And using powers that they got are essentially helped push back, end the war on all of the worlds. The multiverse here is called the Mosaic. And so they saved the Mosaic, or most of it, by driving Izanami back into the afterlife and cleaning up as best they could. Now the thing is a lot of these worlds were lost to Yomi, Izanami, and their army. But some of those that survived were altered forever. and in many of them, remnants, pockets, basically, of these monsters, pocket of these villains, these the sort of Yomi loyalists, if you will, are still hidden, and they still seek to corrupt these worlds or take over them, or whatever it is that they want to do. Without spoiling too much the adventure we're going to play. But yes, so this group, who was called the Broken Moon, the Order of the Moon first, helped drive everything back. They were created by, I need to find the name. I don't think it's director Al-Hashim at the very beginning. Alright, I should have. Toshiro Yamana. He was one of the 4 shinobi who helped banish Izanami, and has been a shinobi longer than most agents have been alive. So it's an elderly gentleman, stooped over a cane, looked like the quintessential nice anime grandpa, and he's, well, in fact, a very powerful and a very skilled shinobi. As far as I know, kind of Master Roshi, but without the pervy part. They haven't talked much about him anyway in the book, so who knows? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. We'll see. But I don't think so. Anyway, he leads the agency. The agency has like a bunch of sort of sub-leaders, and then it's further divided. Yeah, Jesus Christ is saying he's probably got Mikio that could kick you across dimensions. I'm fairly certain that if we ever see his character sheet, it's going to be something like just the black square of everything. But that said, yeah, so from the director are like other leaders, and then all of the cells of shinobi who are given missions by their handler. These shinobi come from a bunch of different worlds across the mosaic, bringing with them their own sort of flavor, but also skills. And in the case of, once they've been inducted in the agency, magic called Mikio. And there's a cool, in the book, sort of sequence of hand gestures you can make to cast your spells. I tried it, and I think I sprained one of my fingers, so we're not going to do them on screen, because screw that. But yes, the spell casting and such is I thought it was a cool touch to add. Now the thing is moving across the mosaic from world to world is not something you do in the blink of an eye. There are specific sort of portals that you use to travel from one place to another. The agency can't just decide to teleport to a different world. It's not quite like the TVA in Marvel, right? They can't just open a door and there we go. And also, they traversing, even through the gate, traversing the worlds is dangerous, because in between these worlds, you have a thing called the void. The entirety of reality. Of all realities. And it is the one thing that, man was not meant to know. You should not look upon reality. Sometimes some people do. And sometimes they go crazy. Sometimes they disappear. Sometimes something else happens, but it's not detailed yet. But I figure that it is probably a gateway to some stranger abilities. So although they can transport from one world to the next, things aren't as easy as they seem. And also, they should not be recognized in these other worlds. This sort of second war, the Veiled War that they called, the shinobi, the agency is waging against the yokai, is basically something that needs to stay quiet. Every world has been heavily traumatized by the war. They don't need to see a repeat of it. But also, your ninjas don't really exist. You should keep it on the down low, and you should try to avoid being detected. There's a mechanic in this game where each world has sort of like an alert level that I might put on the overlay later, and that indicates basically how much collateral damage you guys have been doing. Blowing up a building with the villain inside might seem like a good idea, but it still is blowing up a building. And you don't want that. You do not
So we're
want to
the
reach.
men in black, but our black uniforms are ninja uniforms.
And you cannot wipe people memories away. So there's no undo button. Basically, if I remember correctly, there are 3 levels of alertness. Where is it again? Rift diving. We're not going to talk about rift diving here, but that is something that exists. Maintaining the veil. There we go. Yeah, passive, alert, and high alert. And so passive is basically what is like normally, and then I have a list, like a bullet point list of like things that if y'all commit one of these acts or do something that's on those lists, it's going to raise the alert level. The breaches, of course, that you cause have consequences. Imagine it kind of like the Masquerade in Vampire the Masquerade, except in this instance, it's more like it messes up the entire world. Like you are causing it to slide into further and further into like a state of vulnerability that the surviving yokais could use. And kind of like the TVA and Marvel, you have teams. In this case, in our game, you won't be a cleanup crew, but there are like cleanup crews that can come after you and try to tell people that, mass hallucinations or whatnot. But you shouldn't use them. Oh, there is a Silverlight Dust. Lord Jesus. Do you know if it's in the supply drop or in the armory? By any chance? Starter set armory pamphlet page 3. Thank you. I must have skipped over it. Oh no. It's lagging. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Oh, Silverlight Dust. Yes. Oh, it's because it's a poison. Okay. You can poison people to make them forget. It's a thing you can do. Huh?
Get rid of body. There's a consumable tool called Corpse Eater to get rid of bodies.
So we are the men in black.
With less technological armaments, I guess. But yes, you can do the exact same things. But you answer to no one but yourselves and the director. So you exist outside of... Well, literally outside of space. Not really outside of time. But outside of a lot of restrictions, things that... And that also sort of accounts for... That explains the alert levels in these worlds, is that you're not supposed to be there. Pope saying this is getting closer to the SCP Foundation. Yes. Because you do have a containment unit back at your base on Nakatsukumi, where you can shove yokai there that cannot be killed, for instance. Or cannot be handled otherwise. Such as one that's just a wall. There's an enemy in this game that's just a wall. That's it. I'm not gonna say more about it. There's this thing in Shadowscar where, quote unquote, you cannot die. When you are brought to 0 HP in combat, theoretically you die. But there is a thing called the spirit world, which exists on every world. When your character physically dies, you get to play their spirit. And you can do stuff as a spirit for a limited amount of time. You can be brought back to life if someone on the team carries with them a spirit lantern, so they can just put you in the Pokeball, bring you home, and resurrect you. Mind you, there are also dangers in the spirit world that are probably just in the spirit world. Some of the clans are have like abilities that sort of specialize a bit more with anything that has to do with spirits. It's I'm gonna say the gray one, but that probably doesn't tell a lot to any of you at the moment. But it's the Tante clan, who are basically the compassionate clan. Like, instead of, like seek and destroy, it's more like, no, we need to deprogram these yokai. Like, they're not acting of their own volition necessarily. They've been sort of taken over by the Yomi hive mind. Yep, indeed. You can, as Jesus says in the chat, you can take the lantern and use it on anyone that you don't want to have them die. You just shove them in the Pokeball. So I mentioned earlier about the clans. Let's talk about them. And then we'll talk about the worlds that you can come from. At least the available worlds for now. Because if you look at the starter set, that's already available anyway from, it was, as far as I remember, on sale since, available since Gen Con this year, I think. Or it was, I know it was there at PAX Unplugged in December. But it's already available physical or PDF from your local friendly game store. And there's an image of sort of a diagram of the mosaic of the worlds that, you can visit in the game. And clearly there are like names for worlds that are currently inaccessible. But let's not kid ourselves. This is basically like DLC stuff. And there's just like little flavorful names of where you might go. I'm not saying that there will be a crossover with like other Artalsaurian properties, but they can if they want, because it's their own stuff. So the clans that we have, the 6 clans that your characters can be part of, I'm not going to expand that much on them, because I would rather, instead of like reading the page, that we get to discover them more through what your characters, who your characters are, and how they act. But essentially, the first one, called the Arashi clan, their creed is all about acceptance, family, and ruthlessness. They serve the clan loyally and protect it. Let's not stick on like the Mikio and everything. Each clan has their own set of like techniques and spells, Mikio, that you can have, in addition to the basic ones that anyone could purchase. The other ones are per clan, and this one is essentially there's a lot of like wind related powers in there. The Futsumashi clan is all about restraint, morality, balance, basically, using violence as a last resort to sort of safeguard the peace. They have a lot of like Mikios about like capturing instead of killing. The Hibana clan is about ambition, progress, and tradition, and their goal is to regain their lost glory. Their clan used to, be prominent, fell from prominence, still part of the agency, but they would love to basically return to their golden age. Kuromaku clan is all about duty, order, and respect. Their goal is to protect the regular folks from the yokai. So they're not gonna say tankier, but they are closer to like a defender type of clan. The Tente clan, I spoke about it earlier. They want to deprogram people or yokai, and then the Wanami clan is all about discipline, justice, and stoicism. And their goal is to kill all demons. They're very simple in how they operate. Cody said that he wants worlds based on other art tile properties for the DLC at Shadowscar panel at Gen Con. Yeah, so there will be Mechton, Shadowscar, there will be Cyberpunk, Shadowscar, Castle Falkenstein would be funny. I don't know about Witcher, though. I don't know if they can use it. And as far as the worlds from the Mosaic that you can come from, Nakatsukuni is, let's call it, the home world. It's where the agency was born. It's where you have like your secret HQ where with your gates, or at least a like central gate to go to other worlds. It's anime Japan. This sort of vague, we don't really like, it's Tokyo, but we're not going to say it's Tokyo type of thing. Basically, Meiji-ish era type of thing. It exists on an archipelago of islands. There are other places, but the rest of that world has been completely annihilated. It's just a sea of tar that no one can cross, that no one has seen the end of, or went into and survived. Steel Court is steampunk Britain. If Britain took over the world. So basically it's everyone's English, everyone wears top hats and monocles, and there are like golems and all sorts of like airships, automatons, you name it. And it's all about, the flavor of steampunk, but on a broader scale. The thing is so that world is sort of stuck in the like late 1800s. Anywhere you go in the world will be in that era, much like Nakatsukuni is kind of medieval-ish, which means that if you come from a world, where, I don't know, guns exist, you can see the reason why you need to keep like secret and quiet, and these things cannot fall into the hands of other people. Fifth Street is 1920s noir America. But it's not just that, it's 1920s noir American movies. Because the narrative exists in Fifth Street. Like, there are main characters, there are extras. And oddly enough, the world itself changes to the whims of these people. Everything is greater than life. For instance, when they give an example of like when you enter a room, or like main characters, when they enter a room, the lighting is always just perfect. People become suddenly quiet and, turn their heads to look at the main characters waltz in. And the last one we have is Refuge, which is a space station on is it on or around the moon? I just need the lunar colony of Selene. Yeah, the colony itself is in space, and it has like other sort of little stations around it, and that's from a world where basically Earth got wiped out, and every survivor basically live in this giant space station. So we're talking a lot of like sci-fi more than the other ones. And of course, like I said, there are other worlds. We just won't come from them at the moment. And that's enough me blabbering. What about you, players? Do you have ideas already popping up in your mind of like where you would like your character to come from? I thought someone would talk about
Yeah.
their
Oh,
character.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. I think it's gonna come from the refuge. I think.
Cool. All right, refuge. Justin Yutsai.
My character idea is kind of like the normal within the extremely abnormal. So I think most of these would work. So I have like a default one I'd probably go with, but if there's a homeland, if we want to spread it out, and if there's a homeland that works better for other people, I'd like them to get a first pick at that. So Justin, you have one that you have your eyes on.
I'm sort of half leaning between a couple things. Had an idea for like an Errol Flynn sort of like type sort of swashbuckler-ish from Fifth Street.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't figure what kind of ninja clan that would work with to sort of tamp in the rest of the Fifth Street flavor.
Well, you would have been taken from Fifth Street, but...
That's what I mean. I figure something to like work with the Fifth Street stuff. And
as a there's a pre-made character. I think Hugo comes from Fifth Street. Just out of curiosity, what's his? I think he's Wanami. Yeah, I think he's Wanami clan. Yeah, Fifth Street. He's the he's basically like a revolver wielding PI, if you will, from Fifth Street.
Wanami are the ones who protect the little people, as it were.
No, the Wanami is the ones who just go for the kill.
Oh, okay. I was thinking.
He's the DPS.
Was it the Kuromaku? No.
Oh, yeah. The Arashi are basically pirates, bandits, and the like. So, what's their abilities? Tooth and Claw, they have an arm strike, melee weapon attack, and an arm strikes. Seed of Windcliffs, Winds Leap. Yeah, they're all about, like, movement, acrobatics. That could work. The Arashi clan. The other one, the one that protects, is the Kuromaku. The blue one. But if you would like, we could do like with all our Talsorian games and start with rolling your life paths.
Oh. Not it.
This is not as bad as it can be with other games like Witcher. You're not going to lose a hand during character creation in here. I don't know if later on down the line we're gonna have like modifiers to stuff, but perhaps. So if you aren't sure about which world you want to come from, we'll skip the first question, but we'll go with the other ones after, because one of them is basically where do you hail from that world. This game, by the way, plays only with D6s. It uses kind of the same interlock system as all the other Talsorian games, except in this case, instead of adding your dice together and trying to beat like a certain number, it's you just add stat plus skill that creates a dice pool of D6s, you roll them, and any die that comes up with a 4 or greater is a success. you tally up successes. You need, most things you're going to need 1 success, sometimes 2, depending on how it is. There is a mechanic, and I'll talk about like some of the other mechanics later, but like there's they're not luck points per se, but there is a mechanic to alter your roll, but it's a back and forth. So if you use it to help yourself, you will have to use it against yourself to get it back again. And it sort of ebbs and flows like this. So who would like to go first? Or do we do each category one by one with everyone? Lynn, you're muted.
Each category sounds interesting.
Cool.
So you kind of go as we go, kind of slow, all at the same pace.
Well, if you have the PDF open, friends, it's on page 9 of character creation. We'll start with family. Who your parents were, and if you had any siblings, who they are.
All right, so
Feel free to use like a die roller or physical dice if you have them at the rate.
It looks like I never knew my parents, but I'm the middle child of many siblings.
My parents are trying their best, and I have an older sibling.
They're trying their best.
So basically, you'd say you're like a middle child that the literal middle child that they forgot about.
Oh,
Oh, I thought that meant I was like an orphan.
Oh, it could be. I don't know.
What page is this supposed to be on?
Page 9 of the character creation PDF. It's the one that I sent earlier tonight.
Do I not?
Or look, I'm gonna pin it so you'll see it in the pinned messages.
I have so many PDFs open that I'm just like clicking things, and I'm like,
Yeah, I've got like
yeah.
5 open here.
all right. So what are my numbers?
I think I'm just gonna roll all the dice now, cobble them all together, and try to make sense of it.
2. Yeah, I did that.
Sure.
I'm trying to divine what everything is. Okay, so
You would need in total, I think it's
I think the thing's like
15 rolls. Yeah.
Whew.
yeah.
You basically need to generate 15 things.
God damn it, go away.
I also never knew my parents. We're off to terrible starts.
I had a story going, and then I hit a certain number, and it just took a complete left turn.
What did
I
you
wasn't
do?
expecting. Hold on, I gotta figure out if I'm trying to stay faithful to the dice rolls, so I want to keep it, but I gotta figure out how this makes sense. Jesus, this does not make sense. Oh my goodness.
I mean, as anime characters, isn't it fitting that your parents died?
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is-
okay,
this is-
hold
this
on,
is
sorry.
fascinating.
Sorry, I got to important life events, and I had like this very like I had like this upbringing, right? And it was just like, you're a down your luck kid, you're working your best. And then I rolled. The first roll is actually supposed to help you select a table to roll for a major life event.
Mhm.
But I just took the first one, which is a profession event, and I rolled a 5, so it's you became a politician, which really threw me off. Okay.
Doesn't have to be a bad politician.
That is true. I was like, maybe it's like I ran for like the city council because I wanted to see change in my local community.
That counts.
Oh, interesting.
This is making sense. This is no
Really
way.
confused how I'm supposed to have a positive relationship with my family that I never knew and who are dead.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, in that
It
case,
look-
you can ignore it. Maybe it's a positive because no one's there to piss you off anymore.
They
No one
left you a
gets on
great
your
fortune.
case. Huh?
Maybe they left you a great fortune or something.
That could be a thing. While you're making your characters, I'm gonna put on some background music. I feel like we're missing background music. Doot, doot.
Oh, I see. So 15 dice lets you roll 3 times on the major life events. The first of the rolls determine which table and which event on the table you pick.
Yep.
Okay. I think I have my character. Ah.
Oh wow! If you want, you can have more than one life event, but I don't know if that's what you want.
Yeah, I got 3. I did the whole 15.
Nice. We're all ears.
All right. My character, homeland is Nakatsukuni, so the Japan kind of inspired, like the epicenter of everything. Let's see. He's from the island of Honshu. He never knew his parents, but he's the middle child of many siblings. So I feel it wasn't a great home situation. Like maybe their parents were hard workers, but I haven't decided fully. But eventually the parents are no longer in the picture, and it's just kind of all the kids trying to take care of themselves. He did not have a great relationship with his siblings. And it was a pretty simple reason why. I think all of them kind of got together and formed because I have to roll for a family, like a family's status. They're artists, they're entertainers, actors, musicians, and poets. So my family of siblings is some kind of acting or like musical troupe, and I can't carry a note to save my life. So I was relegated, and this is my additional details. I think I was just like the kind of the everything else. I cleaned, I cooked, I did all the washing, just trying to like help out. But I think there was some fostering of animosity because I couldn't like contribute to the main profession there. We are, let's see, we were in a village on a floating island. Was my childhood environment. I'm not entirely sure the context of that. I'll have to think on that one some more. However, the greatest influence on my life, which kind of makes sense since I kind of come from like a simple, like, just like a kid trying to get by, was a Shadowscar agent.
Oh, okay.
So much so that, and I'm kind of tapping into a life event I rolled later on, I was actually attacked by a cryptid. So I feel like the Shadowscar agent saved me. And it's inspired me to eventually say, see ya, fam. I'm off to do something. I'm off to like go get training and try to like earn my way into the Shadowscar agency. And I signed up to fight the yokai. And then I faked my death for some reason. I haven't figured out that yet, but that's what I rolled.
Okay.
But yeah,
if you could.
well, maybe my family decided to come after me. They became a deadly troupe of actors and trapeze artists. Anyway, so I feel like, and this is my additional context, my idea for a character is it's kind of like a representative of like the everyday person who just tries really hard. He doesn't have a good grasp of like the magical or the super. He's not really smart. He's not really good with like the magical stuff, but he knows how to use a knife. He knows how to work hard because he's I feel like before he actually got into training with the Shadowscar agency, he stayed in like the base village or town or city and just worked at like a bunch of diners and restaurants. So he got really good at cooking, chopping up veggies, listening to people. He is from Nakatsuni, so I chose the homeland ability Folktales, which kind of represents him just like listening to all the gossip going on in the diners and restaurants he's worked at. But yeah, eventually he worked hard enough and long enough, and along the way he faked his death, and he formed a close bond with someone. I'll figure that out. And
You've
then-
got 2 people in chat, by the way, giving suggestion. Pope says maybe to keep your family safe.
Oh, interesting.
And Jesus Crust says, faked your death because allies of the yokai tried to come after you and your family. So you faked your death so that they wouldn't go after your family anymore.
I don't like my family, but do I hate them enough that I wouldn't care about their safety? I guess not. Interesting. I am the middle child of 15 siblings, so
I mean, you,
Oh my god.
but you did
just-
sort of like took an oath, right, when you joined the agency to like protect people from the yokai in a way.
that's very true.
Also, 15
Oh.
people is a lot. It reminds
just-
me of my character in Crusader King.
I just pulled the number out of anywhere. It could have been a big family. Interesting. I'll have to work on the details, but yeah, I guess just because he doesn't have a good relation. Oh,
Oh my god.
honestly, it kind of makes it spicier. He doesn't like his siblings, but he still has like a duty and an internal kind of an internal kind of moral compass that says I still have to like go out. I still have to like work to protect them. Do yokai? I might have missed this. Do yokai like go after like agents, families? Do they work like that kind of subterfuge?
Yeah, they can. Like some of them are going to let's say act like monsters, quote unquote. We're talking about yokai that would have like sort of an animalistic thing. There are yokai that aren't that like, let's say, problematic. There's one. What is it? It's the trio of I was gonna say beetles. The trio of weasels that technically were like tricksters and just would play tricks on people, but now have gotten basically overtaken with like violence. So their tricks are always violent, but they're basically weasels. Like they're not super intelligent. They're weasels.
Their tricks are not for kids.
Tricks are not for kids. Whereas you will have others that like can be reasoned with, talked to, and then there's like the possessed umbrella. There are a lot of different kamis and yokais.
All right. Well, that is character name to be decided.
Cool. Well, we'll do like the stats and the math after. Justin or Lynn?
I am almost done figuring this out.
Oh, cool.
I think I'm mostly done.
Okay.
These roles. Although, since I was getting similar amusing roles with my personal history and such, and then since I was already doing like the Fifth Street, and I kind of wanted the flamboyant character kind of direction I was leaning anyways. And since I never knew my parents, my family history is supposed to be complicated, but also positive and a few other things, I just was like, yeah, so I guess I think I may as well be the not quite Batman of this world, since it's like all supposed to be like pulp cereal and comics and such.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, he never knew his parents, probably because they were killed or something. He's really rather vague since he was such a youngin' anyways and didn't pay attention. He was raised with some amount of care by someone because he has a positive relationship with him, so we'll figure that out. But with the rich amount of money he was raised with, it sort of gave him the affluency to sort of do the kind of nonsense you do in Fifth Street, which is be a main character, in his case, sort of vigilante nonsense, running about town with where he apparently stumbled upon a rift and went through, and that was apparently his large turning point in how he came across the Shadow Scar agency.
You're not
and
supposed to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not supposed to just find tears through space and just go through them. But when you live in a comic book world, I guess you might be a little bit more inclined to it. So he jumped through, and after that, I apparently witnessed something impossible, which is one of the things you're supposed to tag in. So I'm not using that as the he witnessed something in the void, more of the clearly stumbling through the rift and getting to where he went was witnessing something impossible as a large turning point in his life. And that's how he fell into the Shadow Scar Agency. And then working with that, the one I just wrote down and immediately lost because I switched pages. The Kuromaku clan, because they seem to be the ones that are like closest to like Fifth Street flavor. Because I was still trying to tease things along like into his sort of general vibe, as it were. So sneakiness and running about and whatnot. So hopefully that'll work for him. But no name yet.
Nah,
Still no name.
We can do that last.
Has to be.
And Lynn.
Oh my! Oh, this is great. This is certainly a type, and also it's gonna be I am the Prosper's version of Yutsai's like family like upbringing, I think. Because I rolled that.
Go on.
Okay, birth region was the Pan-Asian habitat.
Mhm.
Parents are trying their best. One older sibling. Positive, simple relationship with my performance artist parents. I'm imagining that it's like was one of those things where it's like it was like a marriage between two like extremely popular, like celebrities, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then live in a major metropolis, wandering and never settling down. Her refuge is in a mall. Mentor, the influence was a good influence with the teacher. You're convinced to join the Shadow side by a friend, and you helped an agent in their mission. And for the supernatural event, you believe you saw the future in a dream. So that's the movie to figure out. But
all right, cool. Then let's go with stats, I guess. Do we go stats or clan first? What's your choice, folks?
I have clan. I think Tente clan. I think is the one I'm going for. I think that's the what's it? Compassion, determination, secrecy.
So we got...
I am doing the Futsumashi, which is balance, morality, restraint.
All right. Just so you know, on your character sheets, you have a section on the second page for your homeland abilities, and so those are found in your homeland. So basically, from page 4 onward, on that on the PDF, and well, you get to copy one of them. So choose which one you want, because you get only one out of the 3. So these are basically immutable once they're chosen. For people watching, I'll just name them, like sort of describe them for the 3 worlds that you've chosen. But Nakatsukuni has Folktales, which is you automatically succeed on like knowledge checks to know anything about yokai. Poltergeist, which is when you are in the spirit world. You can be in the spirit world without dying, by the way. There are other ways. You can interact with things as if you were in the material world, but to take actions, you must spend 1 point of ki per action. And Spirit Sight, which allows you to see into the spirit world for 10 minutes as an action. You can basically do it as often as you want, but it gives you a penalty on awareness check for the material world. As far as 5th Street is concerned, there are 3 abilities. Either background character, which is that you are never the first target of hostility, and people won't go out of their way to inspect you or talk to you unless there's a good reason. Which is essentially what Lax was in our last game. Then you've got Lady Luck. You get a pool of 3 tokens at the start of each session, and you can spend them to increase your... So they're basically the luck points from Cyberpunk or Witcher. You get 3 of those to give yourself +1s. And the third 5th Street ability is Narrative Clues. If you fail an Analyze action or an awareness or knowledge check, the story... Oh, I'm a storyteller. The storyteller will still give you a minor clue or detail about the topic. So there's no like real failure if you want to play a detective type of person. Just saying. And then as far as Refuge...
Or if I just want to annoy the storyteller and make him do that extra little step.
Sure. Do you really think it's going to annoy me, though? Homeland abilities for Refuge is Astronaut Training, so you're immune to Nauseated, and you can hold your breath for 30 minutes instead of 1. Which, Instinct, which means that hidden characters who make skill check against you do not gain the normal +2 bonus, which you would get when you're, undetected, either like on an attack or something like that. And then Metacognition, which is you get a +2 bonus to end a mental state. States in this game are basically conditions like stunned, confused, charmed, nauseated, etc., etc. And once during your turn, you can basically, without using an action, you get like a free check each turn with a bonus to end that condition. If you've picked yours, let everyone at home know what they are.
Yeah, I pick the metacognition one, which is the +2 bonus to end the state, mental state. Man,
All right.
Folktales.
Okay, so
Whenever-
no more knowledge checks about yokai. I just give you the info and that's it.
hell yeah!
Seems pretty handy to have, especially with a new game, new
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Just tell me. Don't roll. Just tell.
It goes in handy since I took narrative clues.
All right. No
So-
one rolls for anything anymore. Y'all just
send us
know
your- Just send us your
everything.
notes. Send us
Yeah,
your notes.
I'll just send you the PDF of the adventure and I'll be
Well, I
like, look.
expect when narrative clues to kick in for you to pause and actually give me the narration like it's a noir film
yes.
narration.
All
moment.
right. Yes. I won't have the saxophone playing in the background, but yes. Unless I have like I can sample like a copyright free just slow jazz saxophone solo.
It goes into that like radio kind of sounding speaker phone voice. This has been an R. Talsorian production, narrated by Simon.
I do have the voice mod to do the radio voice though. I used it on it's Trooper's stream. Like all of his breaks, you can hear me as a Frenchman during World War II send secret messages to people, coded messages. So let's do some math before we get to your clan and your abilities and everything. You've got 3 stats in this game. So unlike Witcher with 7, Cyberpunk with the same, Mechland kind of the same. In this case here, we're closer to what good old BSM used to be before it went to shit. Let's not talk about that. Mind, body, and spirit. Mind is everything that is intellect, wisdom, hand-eye coordination, anything that's got to do with, how your brain works. Body is basically all of your muscles. And spirit is your empathy, your charisma, your willpower. It is also what you will need when you want to use Mikio, which are the supernatural abilities that your clans give you. So it's super easy for stats. It's 1, 2, 3. Choose which one you want to be skilled in, the one you want to be kind of average in, and the one that you want to be below average with. These, by the way, these stats can be improved with XP, like other games.
Definitely maxing out body, or putting body to 3. I think my mind is my weakest element, though.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna be spirit, mind, and then body.
And Justin? Unless you're not sure yet.
We already got what, body, mind, and spirit, and then spirit.
I did body, spirit, mind.
Oh, yeah, no, body, spirit, mind.
They can double up.
Yeah, if you want to
Yeah,
like
it
make the
matters.
perfect triangle, you would have to go mind first.
Yeah, do what,
Couldn't hurt.
Do what you feel like.
yeah, do it. Do what you.
Yeah, do
fits
whatever
your
you want.
character.
Though depending on the type of character you
Yeah.
you are, mind is what governs ranged attacks in this game.
Yeah, that's what I was reading through.
But while you're thinking about that, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Grab something to drink, stretch, and we'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes. Bye-bye.
灰色の瞳 かす命の歌消えない心の傷メシアを求め続けたあの日の夜はびこる赤煙はひどく私バラバラに崩して涙の音だけがただ聞こえかすかに言った幸せに生きて今あなたを願うなら果てないよも孤独に負けぬようにと今はただあなたを叫んでる永遠の命とあなたとの約束を かす命の歌消えない心の傷メシアを求め続けたあの日の夜はびこる赤煙はひどく私バラバラに崩して涙の音だけがただ聞こえかすかに言った幸せに生きて今あなたを願うなら果てないよも孤独に負けぬようにと今はただあなたを叫んでる永遠の命とあなたとの約束を す命の歌消えない心の傷メシアを求め続けたあの日の夜はびこる赤煙はひどく私バラバラに崩して涙の音だけがただ聞こえかすかに言った幸せに生きて今あなたを願うなら果てない夜も孤独に負けぬようにと今はただあなたを叫んでる永遠の命とあなたとの約束を
Hello, we're back. We are refreshed. I have eaten, and we are ready to play. Sounds a little weird. Ah, there we go. Okay. So, players, we're gonna move down to skills. Or actually, you should mark your secondary statistics right away because it's the same for everyone. But your key reserve starts at 3, speed at 30, wealth at 2, and vitality at 10. You can find that info on page 14. It's like at the very bottom of page 14.
Wealth 2.
Wealth 2, vitality 10, speed 30, and key 3.
Hell yeah. Okay. Cool.
And then for skills, we're gonna have a shit ton of points to put in. Basically, you will choose 5 skills that will start at 2 points and 7 skills at 1 point.
5 at 2, 7
at 1. And basically that'll leave 6 at 0. Just so you know, in this game, most of the skills are pretty much self-explanatory. You know, awareness, disguise, melee, stealth, strength, and all that. But they do have what I call social combat, which we had in The Witcher as well. And so, social skills like manipulation, like insight, or even artistry sometimes, have a use in sort of challenges, like as opposed roles in challenges, other than, you know, making a skill check for the sake of making a skill check, right? Mm-hmm. It makes certain skills like resistance kind of a bit more, like a tad more important. And of course, if you want to be very good at Mikio and have all of your supernatural powers, then that would be the skill called Focus.
What is maneuver?
Maneuver is drive.
Okay.
It's driving a vehicle.
Driving, okay.
Or a mount, in the case of like a horse or something. As you would make maneuver rolls, for instance, when you're like chasing someone down. like a high-speed pursuit or something. That would be maneuver. It's a lot of mathing and putting points. I figure in the actual game we're gonna have like a pool of points like there used to be in the other Telstardian games, and you can just set them up wherever you want. But as far as like, you know, making a character sheet quickly, I like this like 7, 6, 5 type of thing. While the players are doing this, chat, how are you doing?
2, 3.
How are things on your end? Are you
So
excited
do you have to
for
spend
this
a
game?
key point to activate a Mikio?
Some of them, I believe it's all of them, or some will actually tell you. Let's see. Oops, I got the wrong book. It depends on the sort of level, if you will. It's 1, 3, or 5. Depending on if they're Genin, Mikio, Chunin, or Jonin. But as far as I know, I think all of yours are Genin. It's probably Genin and not Genin, because it's a G. Let's see.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, because nothing that I saw has a cost on it.
Yeah. Good question. Perhaps Jesus in chat has the answer already. I do believe it's probably just the one key for the ones that are here, like presented here. If only
The other
because
ones seem like rank level.
yeah, like you yes, there is sort of a level up mechanic, like your characters can improve even over the course of this like this run, where we're not using the full rules because they're not available yet. But I get the feeling that the ones that you have that are like listed in the character creator, it's one key for everything. I'm looking for the word Genin. See if it's like anywhere in the... Yeah, it's not in the character creator PDF.
It might be like further.
Oh no, I just
Further
control
is-
F'd it. The word
No,
Genin is
no,
not
I
in
mean
the
like
PDF.
stuff that isn't out yet. You know,
Oh yeah.
like
Those ones.
advanced,
Yeah.
like character advancement thing.
Yeah, no, Jesus, I see the table on page 14 for the key cost, but it's more like, where is it written that it's Genin for the characters? Like, I assume that's what it is, but... No, Adobe, I don't want to look for other words. I want to look for just the one. Oh, it appears 3 times. Second rent threats. Third rent... Yeah, okay. It doesn't figure elsewhere than in the costs.
Okay, so it's just one from.
Let's assume it's
Hacking.
one for everything. It's it would be weird to have like something different, especially since none of them have costs like in the clans technique in Mikio. So, but before we go to like Mikios and all that, when you're done with your skills, we're gonna do quirks. And in this game,
Where's that? Yeah, there we go.
yeah, quirks on page 16. So you can choose up to 2 advantages, but that means that for each advantage that you take, you must take a disadvantage that goes with it. So you could have 0. You can have 1 of each or 2 of each. And some of them, I mean, Some of them seem to be actual, like, massive penalties, basically. And also very good bonuses.
I like how you can take both faint-hearted and lion-hearted, which I think effectively cancel each other out.
You
Yep.
scare yourself when you yell, that kind of a thing.
I mean, you can. It's just weird.
I think I'm going to take lion-hearted, +1 bonus to defend against the threat action. And I'll take the disadvantage terrible at lying. So I can get my group into trouble by not being able to lie convincingly.
And what's the one that you're taking as an advantage?
Lion-hearted, +1 bonus
Okay.
to defend against the threat action.
Cool. Oh, by the way, since your vitality starts at 10 for everyone, the only way at character creation to increase your vitality at all is by taking the tough as nails advantage.
Is vitality the equivalent of hit points?
Yeah,
or-
it's HP.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, 30% bonus. That's not half bad.
Yeah, you can take it twice, so it's worth it, but then you'd also have, you know, two disadvantages along with that. In this game, by the way, you regain like every time you rest or, you know, you sleep for a night or something, you regain 3 vitality. Unless you are grievously wounded, which is a state that occurs when you have 3 or less HP.
I think I'm gonna take the unique mannerisms advantage.
Ooh.
And then just have the bad tempered as the
Cool.
disadvantage.
Yeah, as a child of performance artists' parents, I guess it just goes hand in hand with the eccentricity.
Yeah.
Simon, I need you to tell me I think you should do it.
Whatever it is you'd say, I think you should do it.
Great. I have 1 arm.
Oh boy. What? Yeah.
I think it fits with the backstory too.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
when I got attacked by the
Oh, it took. Oh.
by the yokai and I was saved, it's like but they couldn't. I was still like they still like tore an arm off me when I was young.
Ow.
Ah.
So I only have the use of 1 arm, and I have tough as nails because I feel like that experience really convinced my
Toughened
character
you up.
to. Yeah, well, yeah, but encouraged him to. Oh, that's why I can't join the trapeze artist family traditions. I only have the 1 arm.
By the way, there is a rule when you use Mikio with only 1 hand. You've got a -1 to your checks with it.
Interesting. I might then have like just one Mikio and 3 techniques. I think I'll split that.
Oh, yeah, you can always do that.
Each Mikio needs hand things.
Yeah, so they all require like hand gestures, but the thing is they're all feasible with 1 hand instead of 2. It's just there's a focus check that goes with. Well, so it depends because Mikio that isn't like that you're not targeting someone with You don't
Mhm.
need to roll for it. It just happens. So like say you're using which clan were you again?
I am the Futsumashi clan.
Futsumashi. So let's say you take well, like Garden of the Heart. Open your eyes to the emotions of those around you for 1 hour. You can see the exact emotions of every character within 25 feet as a colored flower and can tell with who the focus of their emotion is if there is one. You don't need to roll for that. It just works.
But if I took something like Spirit Shackles that says make a focus check.
Then you would have a -1 on your focus check.
I see. Good to know.
Quirks wise, Justin, did you want to pick any?
Yeah, that was good. Besides, everybody seems weird enough. They're quirky as it is. I don't think we need more quirks.
All right.
And I'm coming from Fifth Street. That seems like it's a quirk on its own. So.
All right. Well then, we get the clans. Clans in gear is basically what we have left. On page 17, you have a list of techniques. Those are available to everyone. Anyone can take them. They're generic abilities. All in all, you are going to have to pick 4 total. Might be 4 techniques, 0 Mikio, 2 of each, whatever. You decide how you want to split it. General technique, anyone can take them. But the other ones that are like proprietary to your clans, those are really for yourself and yourself alone. There's, for people watching, by the way, each clan in the book at the moment has 5 specific, like clan-specific techniques, 5 clan-specific Mikio. So even if a character were, or a player were to, like, choose, like, 4 of one category at character creation, there's always, like, a little bit of room for like, improvement to, like, purchase the last one if you want to max out one of the 2 columns. See, the Hibana clan has a thing for Mikio without with like no hand, but it's the Hibana clan, not yours. And the rest after that is going to be your starting gear, and your starting gear is not in this PDF, it's in the other 2 that I've linked, the supply drop and the armory pamphlet. And from there, your characters are done aside for a name. As far as the rules for equipment goes, I know like you're choosing your techniques and everything at the moment, but for everyone watching, basically there's no like cash in this game because you're jumping from one world to the next. The currencies of like local places is not something that not that you don't need to worry about it, but it's not something that you'll really keep track of all the time. As things change from, you know, different world, different currency, and maybe even within the same world you have different currencies. So instead what you have is requisition points, which is basically currency. but that you spend to get stuff from the Shadow Scar HQ. So you can just go in between missions and just go, hey, I need a first aid kit. I need a new sword. I need whatever. And in between, you can do so in between missions. You can do so. I will assume that we will have, when the full rules are there, like handler abilities that will give you like access to like requisition something on the fly. Which, now that I think of it, let's just see if the pre-mades have one. I remember it's running interference, but there's another one, I think. Pirate police radio and call the cleaners. Okay, no, so it's running interference and then the cleanup crew is the two abilities that I will bestow upon you as the handler. So that is character. We're not stopping the stream, but I was gonna say that is character creation basically in a nutshell. With the character creation book that's already out. It's a PDF you can get from. I was gonna say anywhere, but I can just link the Art Alsorian downloads page. Or I guess it should be on DriveThruRPG.
Let's see.
Yeah, let me just go grab it on DriveThru. If anyone is interested. It is completely free. And it's right there in chat. If you ever, if you're interested in downloading it for yourselves, go check it out. Oh no, it is not completely free. I guess it. I have to check. Might not be free for everyone. I know that the starter set is $15. I'll link it right away. But if someone in chat wants to tell me. It might actually be. Here's a link for the starter set. Yeah. Not reviewed or rated. Over. Okay, so yeah, it's not just at 0 because I own it. So yeah, it is free and it's on DriveThruRPG.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Cool.
I got 3 of the 4 figured out. I'm trying to figure out my last one.
Cool. Yeah. Right. Well, what are the 3 that you got so far? Just out of curiosity.
Yes, I took personalized training. I can increase any 2 skills with a value of 0 to 1. Of that, I chose stealth because I feel like we might need to be stealthy. And performance. So this is like restaurant training. You gotta you can't, if sometimes like the people cooking have to like come help out and serve.
Mhm.
You can't just be like taking the bin of dirty dishes and just slamming them back in the kitchen because that's going to make a lot of noise and bother the guests. And performance, he's like a hibachi chef with the throwing the things in the air. he has a bit of showmanship in that regard, but
Which one of the... Wait, you said performance and stealth.
stealth. So I increased both of those from 0 to 1.
Okay.
And I also get to increase one of my skills with a value of 2 to 3. So I get
Yes.
a level 3 skill, which I chose focus because I felt that was fitting. Like it's more about like the mind's determination rather than just like being good at swinging blades for this guy.
Okay.
I also took a Spirit Shepherd because that just sounded cool.
You can...
I
Yeah,
gained Spirit Sight.
Yeah.
And additionally, I could take an action and draw multiple wandering spirits within 50 feet into a Spirit Lantern, which I did see as an item I can get.
Uh-huh.
And I can do that to up to 10 wandering spirit. I can catch 10 Pokemon at once.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're a Ghostbuster, but yeah, the Pokemon also works.
Yeah, normally the limit is 1, so like just multiplying that by 10 seemed pretty neat.
Well, essentially, if more than one player falls in battle or something, you can also drag both of them with you, like with the one lantern.
And then I chose God's Right Eye. Open your eyes to the flow of magic, allowing you to see through illusions, the influence of magic or possession on a character within 50 feet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of eye-based abilities for this this clan.
Hmm. All right, I think I have mine.
What you get? What you get?
So I have quick disguise for a technique. By taking an action, you can change one outfit to another, or change enough aspects to your current outfit to make it appear totally different. And then second technique is Nightingale. By taking an action, you can mimic the voice of any character you've heard recently.
Okay.
And then Mikio, I took Duplicate. Create 2 silent duplicates adjacent to you on your turn. As an action, you can make each duplicate move and appear to take an action. They can defend against actions using your athletics, but they only have 1 vitality and disappear after 10 minutes. And Devil's Quills. Make a focus check to launch quills at a character in a 15-foot radius area adjacent to you. Any of these characters who fail an opposed athletics check take 1 point of damage and are poisoned with Snake Scale Solution.
Snake Scale Solution. Just out of curiosity, what is it?
Ooh.
After being afflicted by this poison, a character takes 2 points of damage at the beginning of each of their turns until they make a difficult, 4 successes needed, endurance check, or someone makes a 4 successes again, medicine check on them with a first aid kit. Oh, so that's... No, go ahead.
No, I was going to take the Shadow Clones if I had access to it. I'm glad someone did. Where are we, Justin? You got a few picked out?
Yeah. So I only got one Mikio, and it's like this seal of repossession, where I place a small seal on an object I touch. It should apparently last about a week, and then as long as I apparently am within 50 feet of it, I can like teleport or recall that object back into my hand.
Ooh,
So
that's cool.
that's the only Mikio I took, and everything else is just sort of regular by the book stuff, because that's probably more the way he works. I took a forensics expert. So by taking 2 action points, I can analyze a body to find any wounds, kind of determine what caused them. And additionally, apparently, when I assassinate a character, I can make the wound really hard to find with a difficult 4 medicine check, which my wife would be happy about that, I guess. I took night vision, so that dim light doesn't obscure my vision, and pitch black light obscures it a little bit instead of causing it to be blind, because I figure we're going to be peering and sneaking through the dark a lot, assumedly. And then I took Aura of Authority, so that when the alert level is at either alert or high alert, civilians just assume I'm like a law enforcement official or somebody else important.
Ooh, that sounds pretty handy.
And I figured it sort of rolls into part of his persona as, yeah, he probably thinks he's someone important too, anyways.
Maybe I can get your two's input on. I'm deciding between two. There's God's left eye, which is another eye ability.
Mhm.
I can see the intentions of a character within 50 feet. And then
Ooh.
the storyteller, which I guess is the name for the GM in this,
Yeah.
will tell you what the character is going to do on their next turn. And then myself and anyone I let know their intentions will get a +1 bonus. So it's kind of like a focus in, and you can like know if they're going to attack someone or if they're going to try running away, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds pretty handy. Don't have to roll for it. It seems just a passive ability, it looks like.
Yep.
But then there's also the more offensively based Spirit Shackles. Make a focus check to shackle a character within 50 feet who fails an opposed resistance check. And until they do, they suffer the grapple condition, which means they can't move, and they also cannot shift into the spirit world, which is a quality of the Spirit Shackles. My character, I believe, is very firmly non-ranged. So this would be like the one range thing he can do. And given that he only has the one arm, it's probably going to be holding a sword. Might be useful to have an ability that he can just use to like keep someone pinned so he can get to them and attack them if need be. So I can see like uses for both of them.
Well, it's just at this point, y'all know everything about everything with all of your abilities. I'm just like, this is going to be a breeze.
I really like the flavor of the abilities, at least from what I've seen and how they've kind of like sectioned them out between the different clans, families. Like, I definitely wish I had access to some of the stuff you two do, but I am happy with the stuff I have access to, so I don't feel like I'm losing out or anything.
Yeah, I think that's similar for me as well. Like, it's good flavor, I think, on a bunch of the ones that are in the clans I picked.
Yeah. I already
And a
have
bunch
two
of the ones that are in
site-based
there.
things. I think I'm going to go with Spirit Shackles. I have two site-based things. Spirit Shackles
Yeah.
seems like it'd be kind of useful, especially if there's someone trying to run, especially that last part, cannot shift into the spirit world, which sounds like it'd be annoying to chase after them.
Yes. Yeah, because as you are not yokai, you in the spirit world are at a disadvantage.
All right, got my 4 picked out.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
Well, then we'd go into equipment, but I think equipment we could do offline. Because it's just shopping for stuff. And it's not a shopping episode tonight.
Shopping. Oh, that's a direction points. That makes sense.
So handler abilities, I just wrote French.
I will copy paste the handler abilities in Discord, so you can just have them on your sheet. French is just a quirk of your storyteller, of your handler. I don't know yet if it counts as an advantage or a disadvantage. But oops. Your two abilities, friends, are right here. So the first one, Call the Cleaners, is you can call on your handler to dispatch a cleanup crew. The cleanup crew arrives within 10 minutes and cleans up any evidence you ask them to. The amount of time required to clear the evidence is determined by me, and depends on the quantity of evidence, of course. The cleanup crew are not combatants and will not deploy if you are in active combat. Because, you know. And you've got the pirate police radio, which is essentially whenever law enforcement is called, you can call on your handler to delay them for 30 minutes. Additionally, once during each mission, you can call on your handler to call in a police report, sending 4 police officers to a location to investigate. So you can either slow them down or summon them to you, or to a location of your choice, essentially. Um. Yeah.
There we go.
Huh? Oh, you've
That's
copied
it, that-
them. So the last thing that's on your character sheet that we haven't mentioned at all is a little box, little section called Inio.
Ah.
It's on your it's like a checkbox on your first page.
Mhm.
So Inio is what I mentioned earlier about the ebb and flow thing. I'll repeat it when we play anyway, because this is like, you know, unique to this game compared to other Tassorian games. But it's whenever you fail a check by one success, you can check your Inio. You basically call on the powers of Inio to succeed instead. You could also, if you prefer, use it to give yourself basically deal 3 more damage on an attack that you've made. Of course, the attack has to hit first. However, once it's checked, you cannot clear it until, at my discretion, either I reduce your successes by 1 or I have an opponent deal an extra 3 damage to you.
Ah.
And when this happens, you remove the mark and your connection, and then you can use your connection to Inio again. The way I figure I'm probably going to implement this is it'll always be on either the next attack against you for the damage or the next skill check you make.
Mhm.
So that way, you know, if I forget about it, I forget that you've used it, like you won't be stuck for an entire session with like a mechanic that you can no longer use, right? Unless the skill check that you play right after your skill check is like, I don't know, like an attack roll. I'll probably use it for the damage in combat against you more than the -1 on attacks. But yeah, whereas, you know, in Witcher and all that, you had your luck that you could spend 1 for 1. In this case here, it's just if you're like 1 success short of succeeding. There are mechanics for to get bonuses on checks. The bonus can only be 1 or 2 dice. Never more than that. So even if you like stack up advantages, it's not going to work. For instance, aiding another, it's going to give a +1 to a check. And even if there is multiple people helping, it remains at +1. It doesn't stack. But if you have someone helping and you have like something else that would give you a thing, you get that. You would get that second bonus die, basically. Your wealth, for now, it's not really... It's not going to come into play. But just so you know, for now, that your characters are getting by just fine. They rent or own a decent home or nice apartment. They wear decent new clothing. And they can afford to treat themselves from time to time. So, you know, that's good. They don't have a savings account,
nice.
but, you know, it's better than living, you know, paycheck to paycheck.
Do I have a medical plan? 401k?
Could always be a
Yeah, no,
child's
the
performer.
agency doesn't have any.
No.
And neither are your shinobi unionized in any way.
Oh
Not even dental?
no.
No, but they do have, you know, resurrection. So I think you should
Oh, I think
be
covers.
thankful for that.
That does cover a bunch.
Yeah, they have healing pools, by the way. So you can just go and, you know, relax in a healing pool, and it's gonna take all of your injuries away. So I guess that would count as
I
dental.
guess that counts.
Yeah, because like
That's-
medical dental, I guess.
That kind of covers medical mostly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have I think that the disposable income is going to be granted over the course of the adventure when you find, money lying around. Friends, that is all for us tonight. I figure you will have names for your characters. I'm not going to ask them tonight, but I will need them so I can make the video, the intro video for next week, because we are starting next week. And we will be playing basically the adventure that's part of the starter set, but we are going to start with the sort of tutorial adventure first, that is linked to this, which is called, because it's not Eyes in the Darkness, it's the other one. I'm probably gonna find it or not. The orange, well, that's the chapter 1, the Orange Lotus. Mask of the Green Demon. We're going to start with Mask of the Green Demon and then move on to Eyes in the Darkness. Thank you everyone for coming. Players, if you want to let anyone know who you are, where we can find you, what you've got going on and all that, mic is all yours. I'll do my little spiel at the end. I'm going to point to someone. Lynn, you go first.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Lynn. Gremlin Art pretty much everywhere on the socials. You can find my art there. And you can also find me on this channel on Saturdays for Cyan Birth New God, where we are in hell trying to fix... It's a little bit of fixer up, but I think we can do it.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Thank you for coming. Yutsai, you're next.
Hi, I'm Yutsai. You can find me Yutsai at Blue Sky. This is the current stream I'm doing, having a lot of fun. And yeah, just really looking forward to seeing what kind of antics we get up to.
Thank you for coming. And last but not least, Justin.
I'm Justin. You can find me on the net, but you shouldn't. You can see me here, though, and you will be seeing more of me here as soon as I figure out a name for my character and the antics we will be getting up to shortly.
Awesome. Thanks for coming, and thank you everyone for sticking around tonight. We are going to go raid Lindy, because she is playing, I think it's her Cthulhu game?
Ooh.
I'm not quite certain, because no, it's her Ghost of Saltmarsh this week. So we're gonna go say hi to Lindy, and well, see you all next week. Thanks for coming. Bye bye.